Hello everyone. How is everyone feeling after yoga?
Very good.
Good. Ready to start today? To go back?
Yes.
Okay. Today I'm going to present emotional maturity, which is a part of the series in the leadership of the heart. It's a program of the Women's Federation for World Peace that is aiming to educate young women and get people about spirituality, about self-worth, about emotional maturity. And this is the part that I usually present when I do the leadership of the heart. So this is me. The picture is 10 years younger, but it is what it is. Yes, today we're going to do emotional maturity. I don't have a script prepared, I haven't rehearsed anything, so I'm just going to be speaking from the heart, and I feel like that usually is the best way to engage. First of all, we're going to discuss what is emotional maturity, because there are different definitions of emotional maturity. Does anyone want to try to define? Yeah, what is emotional maturity? What would that be? Okay. Being aware, being able to manage emotions.
I would like to maybe try. I think that it has to do with being able to understand your emotions and understand other people's emotions and engage in relationships, trying to find a balance.
Yeah.
Also being with the
Interesting. Okay, we have detachment, we have being able to manage emotions, aware of the emotions.
How about if you are able to really love unconditionally?
Yeah, that could be a part of it. Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
To think about others, not to be self-centered, to be aware of the interactions beyond oneself.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. It's a very widespread category of the human being and consciousness, I would say. It encompasses the intellectual, the cognitive level of being, and I think we kind of touched upon it yesterday and in the previous workshops, because we are dealing with holistic, being of the women in society on a micro and macro level, and emotions are a big part of how we do thoughts and then emotions and then becoming reality, what was said yesterday. There is a quote by Aristotle: knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. I believe we all here for the same reason, to get to know ourselves, to project the right values onto the universe, to other people. As we said yesterday, sometimes when we have our hormones, we have a tendency to interpret. We have an interpreter in our head that says, oh, this is what that person said, we should feel that way. And then we kind of get stuck in our emotion about it, which usually is rooted somewhere else. So knowing yourself would be considered emotionally mature, would mean being aware of who we are, how we function, what are patterns, why are patterns, and why we do what we do. Because sometimes we have actions that we think we want, but we need to ask ourselves, why do we want to do a certain thing? And sometimes that would be, I want to do this in order to avoid a certain situation, and that would come from a negative emotional space. Or I want to do this because I'm afraid that there's something else would happen. So that would be a formula that needs to be removed and cleansed from our system for us to be able to release our full potential of what we can do with ourselves when we are in the mindset, the coherence of the body and the mind that gives us the power to actually access full potential of being, feeling, and manifesting our reality. So, one of the biggest ones, one of the biggest limitations to love and to acting from a space of love would be fear. And I feel recently I've been reading a lot about manifestations and self-love and self-care. And there was a really good quote, I don't know who said it, but they said, you don't have to do anything specific to become love. You don't have to do anything to fight for love. You simply have to remove the barricades, the limitations from the flow of love that is already naturally within you. So we can see as kids we're quite free, we're quite full of joy, we don't really think about things, we just run. We're just full of energy, we don't think about fears, we don't have limitations until the society, sort of, not puts us in a box, but it sort of teaches us how to function with other people, and that might not always be the correct way or the most emotionally mature way how to do it, but that's how we come to the world. We get two people, we get chucked to the planet, we get two people who are supposed to teach us how to be human, and of course they're imperfect and themselves they're trying to learn, how to navigate love, how to navigate society and self-worth, and why are we all here. And recently, I think yesterday, me and a couple of sisters, we had a conversations about, how many of our inside voices are actually not ours. We took them from other people. Similar to when we ask ourselves, oh, what if? Or what if I do this? What if something goes wrong? That's not necessarily something that we just say to ourselves. That's something that possibly our parents gave to us as a way to say, hey, I'm feeling scared that you might be in danger. But that's not how it comes off to the body. It comes off as a, you should be scared to do this because you potentially cannot do it. And it's, even though it's phrased in a way that it encompasses emotion, the body just takes that as a fear rather than a warning. We have a top 10 general fears, one of which I'm currently battling right now.
That's number one.
Women Federation is when I had one of my previous birthdays, I instead of a bucket list, I made a bucket list of 10 fears I'm going to conquer the next year, one of which was the public speaking. And the reason why I went to, I did the speech contest in the Women's Federation, and I spoke about my history, my past as a war child, as somebody who is estranged from their parents and navigating life in London and finding a new family here, a new community, and navigating, reprogramming the traumas, the past, and I found a purpose in that. So I think what we avoid the most is what needs our attention, what we need to go straight towards. So we have open spaces, heights, flying, closed spaces, insects, dogs, snakes. These are all just the context, these are all just the stories that are a cover story for a deeper rooted feeling that is something else. It's a layered program. So it's basically reflected here, so rejection, failure, uncertainty, so fear of heights might not be just fear of heights. It might be, fear of dying or fear of uncertainty, getting hurt, not knowing how to handle it, similar to that. Now we're going to do one journaling exercise. I want you to think about one thing in your life that manifests itself in your life repeatedly, and that has to be something like a fear or a negative occurrence, and how do you handle this fear and how does it affect you? So I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to do this. If you want to write it down on a piece of paper or you just want to think about it, that's completely fine. So one fear or one negative situation may be a belief that keeps repeating itself. Maybe something that you're battling inside, something that you want to change. Does anyone have one to share potentially? Something that's vulnerable.
Me?
Yeah?
Yeah, this happened to me sometimes. To go in the night in a dark street and to live alone, no people there, and one person is in the back, clock, 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 clock. And in this situation, my way to, I thought, what I can do? If I begin to run, I think not to, I did that, and I went to the face to this person. I look this person and I do like this to my different way, you know.
Wow.
And
To overcome the fear and overcome the person. It was not good intentioned, I don't know, but I was not that intentioned person.
That is
You never know, no?
that's very good to control the situation, to fix the fear, the feeling.
Yes,
Because then you're the one who's making the rules. Yeah, I think that's
Could you please repeat, because I couldn't understand.
She said so one of her recurring things is a fear that when she's walking in the dark, somebody's behind her. So what she would do usually is she would think about running, starting to run, but she instead faces the person and goes towards them, which is something that I think all women share. Unfortunately, we've been programmed and trained to limit our social spaces when it's dark, when it's outside, and a lot of cultural aspect comes from our mothers, from our parents saying, oh, you have to be careful, you can't walk alone in the dark because there might be bad people. And, from our history of education and sociology, we did crime statistics, and they say that 98% of female violent crimes happens indoors, and that it's very unlikely that you would get harmed once outside, and it's usually the people who would harm you are targeting you specifically, not randomly in the street, and that is something that to me felt a little bit better, and I was able to, be outside without this fear or anxiety and looking back and, feeling fearful of existing in the dark places outside. So that might be, something that is useful to you as well. Okay, so we'll go forwards. So we have fear, which is manifests itself in withdrawal or attack, so fight or flight response, and then on the other side we have trust, which is the opposite of fear. So I'd like to share, if anybody has off the top of their head, what would your life look like if you were more trusting?
Excuse me, should you mind going backward?
Yes.
Because I would say the opposite of fear is acceptance.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that could be a part of trust. I feel like semantically, these emotions can be defined as trust, acceptance, even neutrality would be a good way to battle fear, or indifference would be something that's maybe not the polar opposite, but something that's way different in energy and its potential as a feeling, as an emotion. Anyone would like to share? Yesterday we had what could we do if we had more money? Today we have what could we do if we have more trust? Yeah?
It makes me to do things that I haven't done before, and trust it will go right.
Things like what? Would you mind specifying what would you do?
Sorry?
What things would you do if you weren't?
No, actually, I think of doing like events or trying tasks that I haven't done before. Then maybe a new degree level of bigness. I'm thinking of events or creating some opportunities for new generation. And I feel I've not to stop, but to let's go forward, not stop.
Yeah.
I have trust that if it's good, it will work out. Because you always